Okay, I'm Nicole Reed. I'm a junior at Hilton High School, and this is my story.
Hi, my name is Matt Crow, and I'm a junior at Hilton Head Christian Academy.
Hi, I'm Mary Gumpin. I'm a sophomore at Bluffton High School.
I grew up in the church my whole life. I don't think I've missed a Sunday of church, except by being sick. But I had always had the Bible stories engraved in my brain, and it was really just a relief to be able to go to Young Life, honestly, just to kind of let it all go and actually live the Christian lifestyle, because I knew how to talk it, I knew how to just kind of act like it, but really putting it into everyday life it's difficult. Well, I wasn't really expecting to go on a Young Life trip. I had never been to a club or campaigners. All my friends were going, but I just never really got into it. And my friend actually brought me to the bus the day that they were leaving for winter weekend. And I was like, what's going on? And my mom came with bags, and my friend had already paid for me because she really wanted me to experience this with her. So, on the way up there, I had my doubts, oh, this is going to be another church camp or something like that, which I had been to over all my years. And it really wasn't like that at all.
So I was hiding myself from everybody. I was pretty hostile towards other people. It's at the littlest things, that if they said something to me, even if it was nice or not harmful in any way, but the bottom line was I was lost, and secretly. So it was first time ever even thinking of going on any sort of camp, and I was pretty reluctant. I committed about 4 or 5 months before to go, but I didn't really think about it then. But then I guess the day before we were about to get on the bus to go to camp, I called Jeff and went over to his house, talking about how I wanted to back out and I didn't want to go. But he made a deal with me that if it was by the second day of camp, it was a week-long camp, that if I wasn't enjoying myself, he would personally drive me back home to Hilton Head, which is about a 6-hour drive. So that talked me into it, got me to go, which is the biggest part. But I never took him up on the offer.
I was born and raised here in Bluffton, and I never went to church growing up. My parents got divorced when I was 9, which kind of broke up my family and kind of left me feeling kind of broken and didn't really know where to go from there. Didn't really know who I was anymore. And my parents got divorced when I was 9, and then I didn't know what Young Life was, didn't really know who God was. It was just a person who I was supposed to not make mad, I guess, and not make them mad at me because I wasn't going to go to heaven then. That was really all I thought about it. And then I tried to have a relationship with God, and it never really worked because I didn't really know what that was expected of, what I was supposed to do. And my stepmom signed me up for a Young Life camp, and I had no clue what it was. I was the only Bluffton person and never knew what it was, didn't have it at my school. And I was told a week before, you're going to Young Life camp, and I got on the bus.
After I got off the bus and went to Windy Gap, one thing that I actually looked forward to the most was the cabin time with people I knew, people I didn't know, girls that I had grown up with. Just hearing their stories moved me in ways that I can't describe. It was really awesome to all talk about Christ, and my leaders, they were so awesome in letting us know that Jesus loved us no matter what our past was, no matter what we're going to do in the future. He is always going to be there for us. It wasn't pressed on us that you have to know Christ, you have to be a Christian. They wanted us to figure it out for ourselves and to go at our own pace. So that was really awesome for me.
So when I was at camp, there was never that one moment that was kind of like an aha moment, but I came home, I was still frustrated and anxious, but I came home with an understanding of what a real relationship with God would look like, and I had relationships to kind of lean on and talk through, people to talk through life with, and that was a big part in where I am today.
Camp for me was the best week of my life, like everyone says it was. It was a time where I felt like I was actually happy and genuinely happy and didn't really have to impress anyone. I didn't know anyone going into that. No one really had any expectations of me, didn't know who I was. I just got to be myself. And it was something that I really had been struggling with for a long time, who I was, because I didn't know. And at camp I kind of figured out that I figured out who I was, and that people, regardless of whatever I presented to them, they still liked me for who I was, and above all, God liked me for who I was, and that's a big thing. I didn't realize that I kind of just thought of him as being a person who was above me and better than me, and at camp I realized that he's kind of next to you and always with you and can help you through anything, and that he wasn't expecting so much from me as I was thinking. I wasn't constantly disappointing him, and he became a person who I knew no matter what I did I wouldn't constantly be disappointment for, which was kind of hard for me, like coming from a place where I felt like I was disappointing everyone. And over camp I felt like someone was proud of me no matter what I did, and that was a big thing for me, and that's really began my relationship with God.
Well, coming home from my first Young Life trip, I have been involved in Young Life for about 2 years now, I'd say, and the people I've met has been such a joy to me. And I know I'm not perfect for going to camps and going to clubs and campaigners, but it just kind of gives me a great outlook on life. Coming back from, or let's say I'm leaving campaigners, I just feel refreshed. If I had a long day at school, I'm just relieved that I can come here and be with people who I can relate to and talk to and get down to deep stuff with. Drive a few minutes to my leader's house if I need something, need to talk. But yeah, after camp, I've definitely grown more with the Lord. I know how important He is to me now. I can't go a day without talking to Him. It's one of my favorite parts of the day.
Okay, so coming home from camp, I realized that there was a much bigger plan for my life that God knew, and I had no idea what it was going to be like. And I started to get more and more involved in Scripture and God's Word. I started to look more to Him for my identity, and I realized that going through life alone was the worst way to do things, and it's a pretty dark place if you try to. So I started meeting with some of the Young Life leaders more and more, and I realized that it's okay to be quiet, but you still need to talk through some of your problems. And now I'm no longer lonely, not without purpose. I found my identity in Christ, and I look to Him.
Since being back from camp, it's been a lot harder to follow God and follow Jesus because it's different. It's different not having everyone around you supporting you in that decision to follow God. And especially growing up in a family who isn't really religious, it's hard to kind of be your own person in a family like that and choose your own decisions at my age, when it's kind of do this way because of your parents, and I chose completely opposite of what they did. But I feel like doing Young Life is it's a lot less pressure. It's not so you have to say this prayer every single day and every single night before, and it's not like that. It's a lot more how you choose to have a relationship with God, and I think it's made it a lot easier on me. Because coming back, I thought it was going to be more okay, I need to do this every day, or I won't have my relationship with God will be completely gone. It feels like I'm just here with Him constantly, and however I choose to follow Him is how it'll work, and He won't be disappointed in me.
I'm Nicole Reed, and I am renewed and refreshed in Christ.
So bottom line was I was lost and lonely, but that's where Christ met me and he found me right there.
I'm Mary, and before I was broken and empty, and now I'm full and whole because of God.